Minecraft can be about big projects and long grinds, but some of my favorite moments are the quiet ones, sitting by a river, fishing, and just letting the world exist. That calm, peaceful feeling is something I really wanted to bring into this kingdom. So today we're building a cozy fisherman's cottage along the water, a place meant for slowing down. Well, just look at all of this progress that we've gotten done. As you can see, we've completely transformed the kingdom with all of the flowers all over this entire area, and I love how it looks. I've been wanting to keep consistent with the white theme throughout the kingdom, so you can see that we have Lily of the Valleys, and then we also have white tulips. And especially now that we have the custom trees throughout the kingdom, and we also have our windmill all the way over here, I think that this kingdom is pretty much almost looking complete. Now, the reality is that we still have about 6 months left in this world, and so I still have tons and tons of builds to fit into this area. And we'll maybe think about going to a new location at some point in time too. But at the very least, I know that there's other builds that we can place over here and on the top of the hill over here and maybe even on top of the hill over here too. And then you can also probably notice that we have a path that ends over there and we can continue to expand a good amount along this way as well. But I will say that I'm a very happy man and this place pretty much exactly looks like what I had envisioned in my mind about 6 months ago. Now, my initial plan for today's episode was to build a massive hot air balloon over in the sky over here, but I think that I've been thinking more about that and we're not going to do that. I just love the vibe that we have throughout the entire kingdom, and I think that having a huge hot air balloon over here would just be too much. So at this point in time, we're still kind of considering what we're going to do for the main build of today's episode. But what I do know is that I do want to start having even more leather so that we can put more bookshelves into the world. So I think that we're going to fly on up to the hill and make ourselves a cow farm. As you can see, we are nowhere near being done with this area, but you can also tell that we got a good amount of progress done getting some cows. Now, the whole idea here is to get as many cows as we can, and then eventually we'll harvest them all for leather. And at the same time, you'll probably notice that this area down here is all flattened, along with we just finished terraforming this area here too. However, I do have a feeling that I finally want to get around to putting a Nether portal into the kingdom. If you want your Minecraft videos to feel more cinematic without overthinking it, I made a 1-hour course that shows exactly how I film and edit my shots. If you want to make Minecraft look unreal, it's linked below. Thanks so much for watching the video, and let's get back into it. We are a bit over halfway through our Nether portal project, but I did want to check in with you all because look how beautiful this build looks. You can see that I terraformed around the area so that this build would kind of fit in. It was too steep of a hill, so I wanted to make sure that we had a stone outer perimeter, and I love how it looks. You may be able to notice that I had to terraform around the side of the build. The hill was not really conducive to this build as I had it in the light manica, so I ended up terraforming a cliffside around here. And the unintended consequence of this is that the build now sits on the hill and provides a wonderful sightline from the library that we have right here. And then at the last moment, I decided to come in and put some iron bars for a balcony, and it's exactly what this area needed. You can see it has a nice overlook at the rest of the kingdom, and especially the sailboat over there. You can see that, of course, we've gone with the block palette that we've been using throughout the kingdom, but I love having the addition of the leaves that are spiraling down through the roof. And then we have some lanterns and some pots with flowers that are hanging off of copper chains, and we'll let them oxidize down a little bit more, and then we'll get around to waxing them. And of course, I can never help myself, so we have some more pots over here for some extra greenery and some extra orange red to the kingdom. And then from the main view, you can see that we did a little bit of the same, and I like the arches that we have coming down. This area kind of looks weathered and it looks definitely mystical or mysterious. So I like how it looks, and I think that we can head inside and I'll show you the rest of the project that we have. Now, this portal up here behind me is the portal that we're gonna have on the side of the nether roof. And you may be asking, Slip, why is it all the way up there? And it's because we're going to be making a build for this area too. We already have our shulker boxes, and I think I have enough materials for everything. And I will admit that it's a good feeling to know that we're finally gonna have another portal on the roof. I've actually never gotten around to linking portals in the nether at all, so I learned how to do it this morning when preparing for the build. And I do think that you'll like it, so let's get around to building it. Well, I think that we have definitely outdone ourselves, and I must admit this is my favorite nether build that I've ever made. It totally looks like a build from the Kingdom of Solith, so I do think that it's a wonderful waypoint to the kingdom. But you can kind of tell that the rest of the roof of the nether is not really filled out, so it's really nice feeling to have a build on here already, and I'm sure that everyone on Lotus will probably follow suit at some point in time. I've really been enjoying doing these sort of builds where you can have an arch that you can walk through just like we have right here. And then we have some bushes on the sides, along with on the side of the build you'll also see that we have some spare storage. You can also see that I got around to putting some torch flowers up there too, which is a nice addition to the build. But I do have to say that I think my favorite part about the build is that we have this staircase right here. So if we don't have elytra, we can also just get up to the second floor where the portal is right here. We, of course, have the banners of the Kingdom of Solith, and then I like how the arches kind of nestle the portal in so that you can't really tell that it's another portal. And so we can, of course, head through the portal once again, where I do think that for the main build of today's episode, we're gonna make a fisherman's cottage. After we have this build in the area, we'll be ready once again to transform the kingdom. So I say, let's get around to doing it. We once again have a brand new addition to the kingdom, and I love how this build ended up coming out. I do think that this fisherman's cottage really fills in the area. The one thing that I may not like as much about it is the fact that it kind of obscures the sailboat that we have right here, but it makes up for this area in other ways. You can see that we put this build on the corner, and we also happen to have a dock right here, or a little balcony area so that we can go and overlook the water, which we can head up just like this, as you can see. And we still need to get a couple of candles to put on top of these iron bars, but I just actually don't know how to make candles in Minecraft, so if you'd like to let me know, I'd love to know how to do it. But one of my favorite parts about this build by far is the fact that you can see that we have a sailboat right here, and the balcony just gives a really wonderful view of it. So I do think that that's worthwhile enough for me to be happy with this build, along with the fact that I really want to make this kingdom as congested as we can. And I think you can see that that really is starting to come together too. But you'll see on the item frames that we have around the build, we use tons and tons of different fishing and sea-related items, including the peppermint fish, which is from the Christmas event that we had here on the Lotus SMP. And I love this model, I just think it looks so beautiful. And of course, we had to go with the banners of the Kingdom of Solith in their white and gray. It's just such a nice addition to all of the builds that we have here. An interesting touch, which is definitely worth talking about too, is that you can see that we actually have some treasure maps that we put in item frames right there. And I just think it's a cool little look that you don't usually see in Minecraft builds. And then we even have like enchanted fishing rods and that sort of thing, just to give that extra luxury vibe to the build. The lore behind this build is that one of our members level up is the Fisherman of the Kingdom of Solith. During the day, you can see him on the balcony fishing for the day's catch. And if you're able to make your way across the river and over to this build, during sunset, you'll be able to smell the scent of fish on the grill. We can head inside to the build here, and you can see that we still have a bit more to do with an interior, but I like the space that we have right here, and I think that we'll be able to do some cool things in here. Along with, to me personally, one of the most exciting things about actually having this build finally done in the world is that this area of the kingdom is pretty much complete, meaning that we are officially able to expand into all of this area that we have right here. And I cannot begin to explain to you how excited I am for it. This entire area is going to be so full of builds by the end of the season, and we are going to be working, or at least getting progress done towards a mega build for the next episode. But I say that as the sun begins to set, let's make our way over to Marnie and say hello to her. It's always good to see you, girl. I hope that you're doing well. I'm so excited. I have so many ideas for other builds that I want to put into the world. So if you're excited for that adventure, consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. And if you want to get yourself caught up on the entire Lotus series, take a look at this playlist that we have right here.